everybody. My name is Teresa and welcome to my sanctuary. I've been asked to show you how to plant some flowers today, and so we're going to get started. We're at the beginning of spring, about the second week of April, and this is a time that you walk through your yard and just kind of evaluate what made it through the winter and what didn't, what needs to be replaced, and what's still good for this year, especially your perennials and your shrubs. So I noticed when I walked through that one of my knockout roses that's supposed to look like that is looking like this. So that means it's time to go. And I have to replace my cypress over there because that one didn't quite make it through the winter because it's supposed to look like this. So got a little bit of work to do, but we're gonna start with a knockout rose. Doesn't matter if you have a green thumb or not, these are easy to grow and pretty effortless. You don't have to really do anything other than get it started really well. And once you get it in the ground and make sure it has some really good soil and fertilizer, then you're good. First, I'll start with my tools. You always have to have some really good tools to work in your yard. And this is called a spade. It is absolutely my favorite tool in the world. And it really makes the job easy. You don't have to get on your knees and dig with a mini shovel. You simply just put this in the ground, a few digs, little elbow grease there. Got to put some muscle behind it because you don't just work out for no reason. Your biceps should be used for more than just carrying the groceries. You know what I'm saying? So we're looking at a knockout rose, and you will see them pretty much all over St. Charles County, especially in your landscapes when you go to Walmart and Lowe's. And it comes right out. See how easy that was? Probably took, maybe 30 seconds? Now, I have different types of gloves that I use in the yard, depending on what type of plant that I'm using. These are my rose gloves. I love these because they provide protection to keep me from getting pricked by the thorns. And I can just I can pretty much with these gloves, grab it anywhere I want, okay? I like to grab it at the base, shake the dirt off, okay? Get that one out of the way. And now you want to dig a hole that's wider than the base of the plant that you bought. Rule number one in digging, do your squats. Bend those knees, just like you hear in all of your workout classes. Bend those knees and don't bend from your back. You don't want to do like this when you're working in the yard because you'll hurt yourself. So you want to bend your knees, and you can stay pretty much in a squat position if you want to, and just dig that dirt out. You want to go about 12 to 18 inches down. And by the way, earthworms are good. So when you see earthworms in your dirt, that means that your dirt is healthy, because earthworms eat the pests and the insects that chew up the roots of your shrubs and flowers, and their secretions go back into the soil to provide nutrients and natural fertilizer. So you can say that God put these earthworms there to fertilize your soil naturally. I like to dig a pretty wide hole, mainly because I'm going to add some more dirt. Now, Look at this. You see where I hit some rocks? Rocks are not good for your yard. They hinder the growth of your plants. So you don't want rocks. Okay? So it's best to, not leave those in there. You want to get the rocks out. Dump those in your trash or anywhere else in your yard that you're not going to grow stuff. And if you find that your dirt is pretty well packed down there, because in Missouri we have some clay, and clay holds water and it rots the roots of your plants and your flowers, so you don't want that either. Okay, so let's go with the best dirt in America. Okay, I've tried different brands of dirt, of garden soil. This is the Miracle Grow all-purpose garden soil. You can use it in your garden where you plant your vegetables. You can also use it in your garden, in your planter, like I do with my roses, even my evergreen shrubs. You can use it anywhere you want. But what's most important that you remember is that this type of soil has to be used in the ground, okay? They do have a Miracle Grow potting soil that comes as a moisture control in a blue bag. I use that for when I'm planting my flowers in pots. But because we're digging in the ground and we're planting this rose bush in the ground, we're gonna use the Miracle Grow all-purpose garden soil. It is the absolute best for getting the best results. Okay, and I just sprinkle, and you can see that I already have some here, which is why the soil is so dark. You want to have good, dark, fertile soil that's rich and healthy for your plants. So now comes the easy part. Make sure, again, that you're wearing some good solid gloves if you're going to handle roses, because it doesn't feel very good when you get pricked by a thorn. Okay, I usually grab it at the base of the plant and just slide it out. I generally slide it out over the hole so that I can just drop it right in. Make sure that before you plant whatever flower you've chosen, that you read the tag and the instructions that come with it, because you want to make sure that you're planting in an area that is going to help it grow. If you have a plant that is a shade-loving plant that can't take a lot of sun, you don't want to plant it in a spot in your yard that is full sun. So you'll want to pay attention to where the sun is in the morning, where it is in the afternoon and the evening, and then kind of gauge what your shady areas are and your sunny areas. That will help you pick out what types of flowers you want to plant and where you want to plant them in your yard. Roses generally require at least 6 hours of sun a day. So you want to plant them in a sunny spot, which is where we are in your yard. So these knockout roses will grow all summer long, and they will fade out around October, late October. And at that point, because these double knockout roses don't require any pruning, you don't generally have to take the buds off when they dry out. The buds will fall off and then they will regenerate. But if you want the buds to come back on faster, of course you can take your pruners, and always get a nice sharp pair of pruners. Okay, you can always take your pruners and just nip. I'm going to do this one for you so you can see. You just want to grab the top of the bud, and about a 1/4 inch from the next, if you see that leaf right there, that bud that's coming in at the base of the leaf is another rose. So about a 1/4 inch from the base of that leaf, you're going to snip that off, and you'll have another rose, and the buds will come on just like this. They'll look just like that, and then they'll open up a little bit, and then a little bit more. So that is how you prune your roses. If you are familiar with roses and you know you have, say, a rose that's not a knockout rose, one that is called a hybrid tea rose, you'll want to make sure that you're looking for a cluster of leaves that have a cluster of 5 leaves on it. And that is where you're going to prune for the next bud. So count your leaves on the stem and prune about a 1/4 inch above that stem. And you'll have some more roses in about 2 weeks. We're going to add some more dirt to this beautiful, beautiful double knockout red rose. They come in different colors. They come in pink. This one is a red one, but they come in pink and yellow as well. Okay, so make sure you get the soil all the way around. You want to make sure that the base of the rose bush is still sticking slightly above ground so that it can contact the sun, just like that. That's going to be a healthy, beautiful bush. When you're in the store and you're trying to decide, you know, they have a whole slat of them, and you're trying to pick out one that you want to take home. You want to look for healthy leaves. Make sure the leaves are dark green like this, and these have a little bit of a luster, a little shine to them. Okay, that lets you know that the plant has been well taken care of before it got to you. So if that is the case, it's going to be easier to grow once you get it home. You won't have to nurse it to good health, if you will, before you get it going. Now, here's the other secret is you want to make sure that it doesn't really matter what type of plants or flowers you're growing. You want to make sure it gets off to a good start. And anytime you transplant a plant from a pot to soil, it can develop a transplant shock. So I use the Miracle Grow Quick Start. Okay, and this is simple and easy. It comes out green, and you pour 1/2 cup into a gallon of tap water. Okay, it won't even look like there's anything in there because you have a gallon of water that diluted that green solution. Okay, and you want to shake it up real well. And you can do this on your tomatoes when you plant your garden. You can do it on any of your vegetables, any flowers, your petunias, any flowers that you choose to plant for the summer. They're just now putting out some of the summer flowers. They're not all in yet, but the roses are in. Now, the other thing is roses don't like their leaves to get wet. So when you water your roses, using a sprinkler is not a good idea. You want to water from the base of the plant. And so a nice good base soak. And they have hoses that you can use to base soak your planter for other plants like this one. So here we go. And I just put a whole gallon, okay, per rose. 1 whole gallon per rose. And there we go. We have a newly transplanted knockout rose. Isn't that beautiful? Beautiful. Now, the knockout rose can take a lot of heat. So it doesn't matter, you know, if it's 103 degrees outside, they love that. They love heat. So don't worry about it in July when, when the sun bakes outside, your roses will be just fine as long as you keep them watered. Okay. The other thing is you want to make sure you put a solid rose food down. And this is what I use. Miracle Grow Shake and Feed Rose and Bloom. Okay. It's a fertilizer, or it's actually a rose food that will stimulate the buds. It stimulates the flowers. After you're done putting on the quick start, the instructions will tell you that you want to wait a few days to fertilize, but I'm just going to put a little food on. I do have a fertilizer that I use as well in the beginning of the spring, as soon as the buds start to form, or the leaves, I should say, start to form. Now it's gonna rain tomorrow all day, so that's beautiful, because this is a slow release food. It's not gonna kill your plant. Even if you put down too much, it's gonna be okay, because it's a slow release. It feeds over about a 3-week period. So you never have to worry about overfeeding. But do read the instructions. Well, again, welcome to my sanctuary. This is where I commune with God. This is where He talks to me. This is where I talk to Him. And this is where I find peace. So thank you for joining me, and have a blessed day.